Alright guys, so today we are going to be checking out the We Deleted You Animatic full series. So this is the full series. This might take a lot of space, and the hour, it's 3 hours. I can do it in segments, but
do you know what the safest investment in the world right now is? Because it's not stocks, real estate, or crypto. It's actually...
But, okay, so we are going to start with... Alright. Okay. So, we'll do it in segments, maybe. Well, we'll do it until it stops. Alright. Okay.
Don't shoot yourself and die. Haters are something than pumpkin pie. And my body ain't even alive. I found all the phonies except for the ties. I spit that raw real, but man, this
That's intro. Alright. Let's get started. The sad music plays. Alright. By the Masked Chris. Based on a story by I.C. Pye. Who even names herself I.C. Pye? Alright. Kyle's Trilogy. Alright.
"2006. The year that the 7th generation of game consoles released. Some may think that 2006 was the best year of gaming,
Yeah.
but to me, it only exists as a painful memory, one that will just not go away. I got a Nintendo Wii for my 7th birthday on November 28th, 2006, about 9 days after the Wii launched. I still remember the moment when my dad gave me the present, and then I quickly ripped it open. "Wow! A Wii! Thanks, Dad!" I said in happiness. After that, my dad had a bit of work to do, and I begged him to help me set it up. And when he was finally done, he helped me set up the Wii in the living room.
Alright.
What surprised me about the Wii is the controller, as it reminded me more of a TV remote. After my dad set it up, he left me the play. And I was going to play Wii Sports, which was the Wii's pack-in game, but something else caught my eye. The Me channel. So I decided to open that up instead.
Seen this before, so I
But
know everything.
when I got to the Me channel, there was a single Me there.
On
I
captions.
clicked on him and found out that the Mii's name was Edeled. The name Edeled didn't make any sense to me until I looked closely into the letters and found that it was backwards for delete. I took a good look at Edeled. He was bald, with a big smiling mouth, giant eyes, and a small nose. He started to creep me out a bit, so I decided to delete him. I then decided to make a me version out of me, so I clicked the button to make a new me, and I named my new me Kyle, because that was my name, Kyle.
Cut.
But then when I got back to the plaza area, Edeled was back, with the same creepy look, so I deleted him the first chance I got. I was still kinda creeped out, but I just decided to forget about it and just play some Wii Sports.
Yeah, play some Wii Sports.
I liked Wii Sports. It was a compilation of 5 sports, and these 5 sports were tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing. I decided to play bowling since it was my favorite sport. My Mii was in a bowling alley with many other Miis, and occasionally I'd see the Mii in the lane next to mine do their throw. But about halfway through the game, I saw a bald me, to be more specific, walk up to the lane next to mine. He threw the ball and got a strike. The me then turned around to celebrate. But then I saw the me's face. It looked exactly like Edeled's face. I thought I deleted him. I guess I'll just have to delete him again. So I quit Wii Sports and went back to the Me channel. But before I could delete Edeled, something weird happened. Edeled actually started speaking. His voice was incredibly low-pitched and distorted.
Why are you trying to delete me?
After Edeled said this, I spoke out. What do you mean? I asked in fright. What was I thinking when I said that? Of course Edeled wouldn't hear me, but to my surprise, he did.
Are you kidding me? You know what I mean.
Edeled said with annoyance. I just don't want you in my Me channel. You're creepy, and you're just creeping me out. I'm sorry.
Oh really? Me's have feelings too, you know. How would you feel if I deleted you?
Edeled yelled. The screen then cut to static for about 5 seconds until it cut back to the Me channel with a close-up of Edeled's face. Edeled's pupils were huge, and he had a very angry expression. And as every second passed, Edeled's expression became angrier and angrier. I pressed the home button and ran to my dad. He was on the phone, so I waited for him to finish. Dad, there's something wrong with my Wii, I said in a scared voice. I led my dad to the living room and turned off the home menu, and surprisingly, it looked normal. What? He was right there, Dad! He was right there! I yelled with confidence. Kyle, maybe you're just playing a bit too much.
Yeah,
I think you should go take a break. My
He's
dad
not playing
recommended.
too much though.
So I did. I opened up the home menu
real.
again and took a 15-minute break. But as I left the living room, I could have sworn that I heard my dad say to himself, "Oh God." But after 15 minutes, I came back to the Wii and turned off the home menu. And an animation played of my Me being deleted. And then a dialogue box appeared saying, "Goodbye, Kyle." And then the Me channel automatically turned off and went back to the Wii menu. I tried to get back into the Me channel, but every time I did, a dialogue box would appear saying, "We deleted you," and it would take me back to the Wii menu. I soon realized that Edeled had somehow deleted me in a way so that I couldn't make any more Miis. So that meant, no matter what game I played, I always had to play as Edeled.
We know you're hovering over that button, but we need your help. We have a better button, we
There's
promise. Right on time. Not bright enough?
Yeah, I knew that there would be ads in this.
December 5th, 2006. I was sitting in my bedroom. I was bored, and yet still in shock after what happened a week ago
I'm doing
with Edeled.
What?
doing a video.
Christmas was coming, and I was tired of playing as Edeled in all
Yeah,
the
you
games I
my
played.
car and break it.
I actually managed to find out about the guest
Yeah, I
players,
did.
but whenever I tried to play as them, they would just reload as Edeled. I tried asking my dad for a new Wii so he could start over, but he doesn't acknowledge Edeled's existence, and doesn't believe me about the whole fiasco. But anyway, I heard the doorbell ring. I ran to the window and saw my best friend Nathan waiting outside the door. I ran to the door and let him in. "Hey Kyle," he said happily. "Hey," I replied. We talked for a bit as we went upstairs, and just as I thought, he found the Wii. "Dude, you have a Wii?" Nathan said with excitement. "Why didn't you tell me?" he continued. Well, Nathan, you see, before I could finish, Nathan grabbed a Wii remote and said, "It's fine, dude. Let's play," as he gave me a Wii remote. I reluctantly turned the Wii on, and I took a glance at Nathan's face, and he was clearly very excited. The Wii menu came on screen, and I became nervous when Nathan pointed the Wii remote to the Me channel. "Hey, Kyle, is that the Me channel? I heard it's really cool," Nathan asked. Yeah, it's really cool," I stuttered. Nathan clicked on the Me channel, and I tried my best to think up of an excuse to not go on the Me channel. But before I could come up with one, Nathan pressed start. What was weird was that I expected the dialogue box saying, "We deleted you" to appear, but to my surprise, it actually led us into the Me channel. But when we got into the Me channel, it was very, very glitchy. Textures were in the wrong places, and the music was very, very low quality. I looked at Nathan, and needless to say, his excitement was replaced by pure confusion. He looked back at me. Kyle? Do you know what's happening here?" he asked. Before I could start explaining, I heard a very loud grinding noise. We turned back to the TV and saw Edeled standing in the middle of the Me channel. My eyes widened in fear. Edeled just stood there for a while, though, just staring at us. Edeled looked at me again. Kyle, what's going on here?" he said as I looked back at him. "I have to close the Me channel," I replied. I pointed the Wii remote at the exit button at the top left of the screen, which its textures were all mixed up. Come on," I repeated to myself as I repeatedly clicked on the exit button. But the dialogue box to choose if you wanted to leave wasn't coming up. And at this point, I was starting to panic. So did Nathan. While I was desperately trying to close the Me channel, Edeled started speaking.
Hello, Kyle.
Oh, come on.
"Kyle, what's going on?" Nathan asked me frightfully. "Just calm down, sit down, and I'll explain it to you later. Just let me handle it, okay?" Nathan sat down on the couch, and just when he did, Edeled spoke out again.
Didn't you know that your me is coming to visit?
"What are you talking about?" I asked.
The me you created. He should be here at any moment.
Immediately after Edeled said that, my me came.
Oh, Don, you check something. You check something real quick. It's already been like 11 minutes. I want to check something real quick.
I have to get you milk.
Yeah.
Down my stomach. It's so good.
Yeah.
He fell from the top of the screen and landed on the ground of the Me channel, and Edeled disappeared. I was happy to see my me again, but when he got up, I was shocked. He looked extremely pale, and he was covered in blood and stains, and he was wobbling, as if he was struggling to keep his balance. And I could have sworn that I heard my me whisper, "Help me." I backed away from the screen, and Nathan was literally shivering. I made another attempt to close the Me channel, and Edeled appeared.
It's not gonna work.
Leaving so soon, Kyle? You haven't even got to see him up close yet.
Edeled said in a sinister tone. The camera then zoomed in onto my me, and when it was fully zoomed in, I saw my me crying as he was struggling to stand. I felt bad for him. But after a couple seconds, Edeled walked on screen with an axe. He walked over to my me and pushed him over. My me fell on the ground and cried even more. Edeled put his foot on my me to restrain him. "You get away from him!" I yelled. Edeled looked at me and said,
I'm gonna change the cool out.
They sell the video game in that video store in the mall.
That videos? Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have the Wii system in there. They
That
have that
was
system in there too. They have all them old game systems.
the Xbox.
It hooks up to the TV.
1080p premium. I think that's. Oh come on! It's for premium. For premium users. Some premium users. 1080p.
Here you go. Here's your milk. Start drinking the milk.
And also the camera's on too. So
Why?
it's a video cam. That's what YouTubers do. They use the video cam when they're doing their video. Alright, let's
Into
get
my
started.
room.
Nope.
I swung the door open and threw the Wii into the closet. I looked at Nathan, who
Need to get to the. Oh, you're gonna do it again.
That's on you. That's on you, Evan. See the borrow.
Okay. Alright, let's continue. I want to go back to the.
Don't go on that again to people.
That what? That.
Don't come on it to strangers or whatever.
Oh, that?
People that you don't know.
Gotta fix something real quick. Can I do, it's not working. It's doing anything. Alright, let's continue.
head and ran to my bedroom and shut the door.
Great. What was that? Custom. Oh, alright. Now we continue.
Don't leave these things on the floor. So you got to roll right over it and crack the whole thing. That's how you take care of things, son. Make sure you pick everything up off the floor before you get out of this room. And you're going to bed early tonight, too. So
Okay.
I got to go back to school tomorrow, so it's going to be early bedtime.
I turned
Alright.
back to the TV, and Edeled swung the axe at my Mii's neck, decapitating him. And there was still no blood. However, I still did see red stains on my Mii's neck and head. I was done at this point. I ran to the Wii and repeatedly pressed the power button, but it didn't work. I tried again and again and again,
Why is it counting?
until I saw the screen go to static. But as time went by, I saw my Mii's decapitated head slowly fade into the screen. Immediately, I went back to trying to shut off the Wii.
Okay.
But I still couldn't shut off the Wii by using the power button. So, I unplugged the Wii.
Okay.
I took the Wii remotes, and cords and ran to my room. I swung the door open and threw the Wii into the closet. I looked at Nathan, who was sitting on my bed and still in shock after everything that has happened today.
Okay.
Is it over? Nathan asked quietly.
It's over yet. It's not
Yeah.
over yet.
It's over, I replied while breathing heavily. I think you should go home, Nathan, I continued.
Yeah, right.
Alright. See you later, Nathan replied as he left the room.
So
After Nathan
far,
left,
it's been
I went back to the living room
16
to see
minutes.
the static is still on the TV. But after a couple seconds, the static was replaced with a black background with white text saying, "This is not over."
This is not over.
And the
Yeah.
TV turned off.
Turns off by itself. What? How's that even possible? There's no Wii connected to it.
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy
gosh.
anything online.
These ads.
Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this.
Alright. Sorry for all the interruptions that's going on here.
The year is 2013.
2013.
I've just turned 14, and I'm enjoying playing the Wii U that I got for my birthday.
The Wii U. Oh.
But whenever I hear the word Wii, I think of that me that traumatized my childhood all those years ago. I got a Wii in 2010 with some allowance money, and luckily that me didn't appear on it. I had fun with that Wii, but whenever I picked up the Wii remote, I felt scared. Scared that the me would appear once again. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
One day, while in bed watching Netflix on my Wii U, I remembered that message on the TV screen back in December of 2006. I remember that day vividly. The message was, "This is not over." But it's been 7 years and nothing's happened. As the movie I was watching ended,
7 years.
I asked myself a question that I was surprised I didn't ask myself sooner. Is Adelaide sentient?
What?
No, he can't be. He's just some stupid AI.
Yeah.
But
But he's
what
not.
sick being would program an AI to do what Adelaide has done? I turned my head to face my closet, with the old Wii still in there. I never touched it again after what happened all those years ago, so I just sort of left it there. I wanted to know
Just
if Adelaide
left
was
it
some
there.
virus that somehow got into the Wii. I do have a bit of technical knowledge, and I thought I could put the Wii's SD card into my laptop to access the system files. I slowly walked to the closet and carefully picked up the Wii. I took out the SD card and brought out my laptop. I plugged in my USB SD card reader and then put my SD card into it. Here it goes, I whispered as I took a deep breath. After I inserted it, I opened the File Explorer and clicked on the SD card and gained access to the Wii system files. There were files like game data, system memory, and lots more. I clicked on system memory,
folder's connected to the
and one result came up, and it read, EdeledMeChannel.wad. I really didn't think that I'd be able to find something related to Edeled so quickly. I was kind of hesitant to click on it at first.
That's a dolphin
However,
thing.
I just remembered that I had a part-time job working for my local grocery store. So if anything happened, I can just save up and buy a new one. I clicked on the file, and the screen went black.
Oh yeah, buy a new laptop.
It was black for about 10 seconds, and then I was greeted to a simulated Wii menu. It was really messed up though. It was dark, and all the music was low quality. And I'd occasionally hear loud screeching noises, and the icons on the Wii menu would occasionally cut to static for about a split second.
Ooh. It's not normal. It's not normal.
The hand icon, though, which I controlled using my mouse,
What?
was just Edeled's face.
Edeled's
I
face.
just stared at the screen for a while. I wanted to leave, but I also wanted to find out the mystery of this me that traumatized me as a child. So I continued. I clicked on the Me channel and pressed start, and I was taken to the Me channel. It was just a black screen with all the icons on the side, but nothing else. Edeled then appeared on screen.
Oh, you came back.
Yeah, I did, I said.
I always thought that you'd eventually come back.
Edeled replied,
Delete me.
What? Why? I questioned.
I need to show you something.
Edeled replied, okay.
Now
I said with
Edeled
confusion.
wants him to delete her.
I picked up Edeled and dragged him to the delete icon. I was given the choice to delete Edeled, and I breathed heavily as I chose to delete him. I was taken back to my desktop. I was confused, but then I noticed something was added to my desktop. A file named deleted.mp4.
.mp4.
I was nervous. I didn't want to click it. But if I was gonna find this me's origin, I had to continue. I clicked the file, and a video opened. It was static for a while, but then it cut to a hallway with hospital beds, lined up next to one another. Each bed had a me laying down on it, hooked up to life support machines. And you can clearly hear the beeping sounds of the machines. But most disturbingly, you can hear the moans and cries of the me's laying on the beds. The camera moved through the hallway slowly, and it stopped and turned to one of the beds. A pale me was laying down on it. Then after a while, the me flatlined. The strange thing is that the me's in this video can make different expressions, like being sad or angry. There were also me's who were making expressions that weren't even possible for a me to make. I saw some that were full-blown crying. The screen then cut to static for a while. A long while, actually. Static was on screen for about a minute. Then the screen then cut to Edeled, laying in one of the beds, with life support machines hooked up all over him. I was shocked when I saw this, because Edeled wasn't making his normal creepy expression, but instead he was making a very sad expression, although his eyes and mouth remained the same size as before. But then Edeled looked at the camera, and then spoke out.
The sad music, more sad music.
Do you see? Do you now see why I don't want to be deleted? I'm trying to warn you, whenever a me gets deleted, they get sent here, where they are doomed because their ignorant creators deleted them. These life support machines are only here to keep us alive for the remaining time we have. And when they get taken off, we die. However, I am the only me who knows how to recover. I am the only me who knows how to get back to the Me channel after being deleted. But I don't know how to stop the pain. So learn your lesson, or I'll make you learn.
After Edeled was done speaking, he ripped off the tubes and wires off him that were connecting him to the life support machines, and got out of his bed. And then he disappeared. The video file was then automatically closed, and I was taken back to my desktop. I was frozen, to say the least. My brain was trying to comprehend what just happened.
Yeah.
What was this hallway? And what was Edeled trying to teach me? But I eventually pieced together what was going on in this video. It took me a while, but I believe I found an answer. You see, A me being deleted is basically the equivalent of being diagnosed with a terminal cancer or incurable sickness. So, they are sent to the hallway where they are hooked up to the life support machines to live out the remaining time they have left. And at the end, they get taken off of life support and they die. It is a painful death, but Edeled is the only me in existence who knows how to recover from the sickness and get back to the me channel. But he doesn't know how to stop the pain. That's what he was trying to teach me. He wasn't trying to be scary, but instead trying to teach me a lesson. It's just that violence and aggression is the only way he knows how to do it. In the end, I never found out Edeled's origins. I never knew how he was made or what his motives were. But I think it's best that I never do.
Is that the end of yeah, that's the end of Kyle's chronology. So now it's gonna go to Sam.
You have a big problem. See, your browser is just like a Bedrock Superflat. Okay, it works, but this will get boring like
Alted Origins. It is the same after all of this, I think.
I used to work for Nintendo of America while the Wii was being created. It was actually kind of a good job, but there was one guy who worked there that nobody really knew. We didn't know what he was like or what he did on his spare time. All he had were just rumors. His name was Henry. Yeah. And there were rumors about him being spread around the office, about what he did, where he lived, and how he even got hired in the first place. All of which are most likely not true. To me, he was just some other guy who just wasn't really known by anyone. But sometime during the Wii's production, he started to act strange. He would show up to work late, he glared at some of the employees, and he would hide in the bathroom and wouldn't talk to anybody. I almost felt bad for him. But one Tuesday afternoon, my co-worker, Mike, walked up to me on my break. Hey Jonathan, what do you think Henry's doing over there? I've known Mike ever since I started working at Nintendo. I would consider him to be one of my best friends. We would go bowling, grab a bite to eat, and sometimes even play a round of golf.
Oh.
Anyway, I looked over at Henry and he was just pacing, and I could clearly see him mumbling to himself. Looks like he's talking to himself, I replied. Seems like he's insane, Mike said jokingly as he sipped his cold can of Coke. Henry continued to pace around talking to himself for about a minute, until he left the office. Me and Mike followed a safe distance away. We saw him grab a Wii, already boxed and ready to ship to retailers, and went into one of the back offices. He was sure to look around to make sure nobody was watching, and proceeded to enter the room, shutting the door behind him. So, you wanna check out what he's doing? Mike asked. Maybe later. Besides, our break is almost over, I replied as Mike and I walked away. It has been a good 10 minutes since our break period ended, and I was working. I had a clear view of the office that Henry had entered, and he still hasn't come out. I started to become curious as to what he was up to in there, but I eventually decided to turn back to my computer and continue working. About 30 seconds pass, and a loud scream catches the attention of everybody in the office. I whipped my head to face the door to the room that Henry was in, and all I saw was one of my coworkers standing there, shaking. Everyone got up, left their cubicles, and ran to the room, and when I managed to get a good look into the room, I almost fainted. Henry was laying on the floor, dead. His body was dark. unrecognizable, as if he were electrocuted. The result was an office-wide panic. People were screaming, calling the police. Some even vomited right there on the scene. But 2 days later, everybody who was present when we saw Henry's body were called down to the presentation room. I was still shaken from the whole thing, and didn't really want to think about it anymore. But I just went anyway. When we got there, my boss was standing at the front of the presentation room while we got all settled. "Hello everyone," my boss said. "I'm sure that you are all aware of what happened 2 days ago, and I'm just as shaken as all of you. However, we have gotten security camera footage, and I thought that it would be important for you all to see it. Please note that some of this footage is disturbing." My boss walked over to the projector and brought up the footage, and pressed play. The video began with Henry entering the room with the Wii, and sat down at the desk. He hooked the Wii up and set it up. It was normal for the most part, other than the fact that he had a bottle of beer and was drinking it throughout the process of setting up the Wii. When Henry got the Wii fully set up, the first thing he did was go to the Me channel. And when it opened, he pressed the button to make a new Me. The Mii's gender was male, and he started it from scratch. He made the Mii bald, with huge eyes and a huge mouth and a small nose. "Okay, that right there is the weirdest Mii I've ever seen in my entire life," one employee shouted. We all shushed him and continued watching. And then Henry got to naming the Mii. And then he named it Eteled.
Eteled? Yeah, they know.
"Pause the video!" another employee shouted.
What?
My boss paused the video as the employee took a couple seconds to analyze this Mii's name. "That's delete spelled backwards," he yelled. And before we knew it, everybody in the room was in a heated debate on whether Henry knew what he was naming this Mii, or if it was just a coincidence because he was drunk. It wasn't long before my boss put a stop to it. "Everybody shut the hell up!" my boss yelled. He pressed the play button again, and we continued to watch in silence.
This is boss on his face.
I was becoming curious as to what he was up to in there, but I eventually decided to turn back and face the door to the room. He pressed the play button again, and we continued to watch in silence. Henry saved the Mii and put it into the Mii Plaza. Henry simply stared at the screen for a bit and said, "Huh, I always wanted to be a Mii," he said as he chuckled. Immediately after he said that, my boss paused the video.
What happened here?
We are now about to enter the part of the footage that is disturbing. If you feel you are unable to handle the disturbing nature of the following, please leave the room now, my boss explained. And thus, many employees left the presentation room. I counted, and there were only 6 people left.
6 people.
Me, Mike, and 4 other coworkers. "So, you staying?" I asked Mike. "Yeah, I want to see what happened," he replied as my boss pressed play again. In the footage, Henry noticed that the monitor screen started to flicker. He looked down at the plug for the Wii, and it was about halfway into the socket. He bent down to push it back in all the way, and when he did, he got electrocuted and dropped dead. I looked behind me and all of the 4 coworkers in the room winced as Henry got electrocuted in the footage. I didn't even want to look at it. Mike just sat there and watched with a blank expression, as if all emotion had been sucked out of him. I looked back at the footage and got a good look at Henry. His body would sometimes jerk and flinch due to the electricity. But about 6 seconds later, the monitor in which Henry made that Mii on strangely went static. What the hell? I thought to myself. In fact, that was the only thing I could think of at that point of time. But then, the monitor displayed Eteled, the Mii that Henry made. And he started speaking.
I've always wanted to be me.
Edeled said in a distorted, low-pitched voice.
Have you ever wanted to be me?
After that last image, the monitor cut to static. And then the footage cut to static. Everybody was silent. Nobody said a word. I'm very sorry you all had to see that. My boss stuttered as he turned off the projector. You may all leave now, he continued as we got up from our seats and left. But as I was leaving, I realized something. After we went back to work after seeing Henry's body 2 days ago, I looked back and noticed one of my co-workers, Johnny, taking the Wii remotes, and the cable and box out of the room. I assumed that he was just going to format the Wii system memory, but then rumors started going around the office that Johnny just put everything back in the box, sealed it up, and put it with the others,
And
without formatting the Wii system memory.
Formatting.
The Wii has already been sent out to retailers. I should have known that's what Johnny did. Johnny had a reputation around the office for doing some stupid things. But this would leave whoever was unlucky enough to buy the Wii to find out about Edeled. Now, I have no idea what Edeled could do, but I knew that it wouldn't be good. And there was no way I could track the Wii, but I still couldn't accept the fact that whoever bought it would soon find out that it was used by a man who died while using it. Or at least find Edeled in the Me channel. So about 2 weeks later, I resigned. While me and Mike still remain friends, there will always be that day that in the middle of a conversation, one of us will bring up Henry, and we would sit there in silence. And I really, really hope that whoever buys that Wii doesn't experience anything that Edeled might do. And if they do, then I pray that it doesn't make a lasting effect on them. Henry was a man that nobody really ever knew. Nobody spoke a word to him and never really acknowledged his existence. Was he a loner or did he have a mental disorder? Nobody knew. But all we could do was speculate. Remember, all we had were rumors.
Just rumors. So now I think we're gonna be going into. Let's see. Where are we going?
Jorge is always
there's
put the ones he
always
loves
ads
first.
at
But
all
when it comes
the
to caring for his
ends.
teeth,
Alright. Let's see. Sam's story. Got Sam. Good old Sam.
Alright, first off, my name is Samantha, but I'm usually referred to as Sam. I'm not really into what other girls are into. While most girls are into stuff like shopping, clothes, makeup, and gossip, I'm more into skateboarding, technology, movies, and most of all, video games. I have game consoles like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but one game console has always fascinated me. The Nintendo Wii. For some reason, I love the idea of motion-based gaming. Sure, motion controls today are usually considered as gimmicky, but I didn't care what people think. I wanted a Wii. Sadly, the Wii is hard to come by since its discontinuation in 2013. And with it now being 2016, the only places where you can find them are places like Kijiji and eBay.
And eBay?
For a while, I thought I would never get a Wii, until I finally found one. My mother absolutely loves thrift stores, and would usually drag me along with her when she went to them. But me, on the other hand, well, I hate them. All the stuff there are so gross and weird. Until one day, my mother took me to a thrift store, and then I went to the electronics section. And there it was. My eyes widened as the Wii box caught my eye. The instant I saw it, I called my mother over, and I asked if we can buy it. And since it was a thrift store, The prices there are way lower than they would
Way,
be in
yeah,
actual
way
stores.
lower.
She said yes, as this Wii was only $20. When we got home, I immediately set the Wii
Wii
up
for
in my bedroom.
$20.
Once
Wow.
I was done, I turned it on and my TV.
There's also the exact
Usually, video
same
game
Wii
consoles would have a
that
setup
Outside is
process.
on.
You know, where you put in the time and date, the country you live in, that kind of stuff. But for some reason, this Wii I got didn't have that.
Didn't
But
it? Yeah,
honestly,
because somebody already set
I didn't
it
care.
up.
The game that came with the Wii was Wii Sports, so
Sports.
I decided to play that. But then I forgot something. I had to make my own Mii first. I could use the guest players, but I just didn't want to, so I went to the Mii channel so I can make a Mii. But when I got to the Mii channel, I found something odd.
Epic.
I saw a Mii already there, with its back facing me. It was cowering while repeating the words,
Please don't delete me. Please don't delete me.
I just stood there for a moment, not saying a word. The Mii turned around and looked at me. The Mii looked kinda weird. He was bald, and his eyes were huge. He had a small nose and a big smiling mouth. I clicked on the Mii with the Wii remote, and his name read Eteled. What did that name mean? I couldn't figure it out. And as he stood there, he spoke again.
Please, don't delete me.
I always had a belief that AI had feelings, that they had souls. So I simply replied with, I'm not going to delete you. Eteled's expression then changed from a creepy smile to a rather confused look.
Too confused.
What? You're not going to delete me? Because everyone deletes me.
No, why don't you want to be deleted? I questioned. Eteled started to explain that this Wii was previously owned by a kid named Kyle. He said that when a Mii is deleted, they are sent to a place that he refuses to speak of. I tried to get it out of him, but he wouldn't budge. But I'm guessing it's pretty bad. I then decided to play Wii
41
Sports
minutes.
without making
This
my own
video
Mii.
is gonna be
I just decided
very,
to play as Eteled.
very long.
Wii Sports had a total of 5 sports included with it. Tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing.
Golf and boxing.
I really liked boxing, so I played that. I chose Eteled as my Mii, and the game started. In boxing, I obviously played as Eteled, and the Mii that I was versing was named Ryan. I looked at Ryan's skill level, and he was at level 124. Now, that may sound tough, but from what I've heard, level 124 makes Ryan the worst CPU player in boxing.
The worst
so
CPU
this should be
player.
easy. The match started, and I threw a punch with my Wii remote, and with that single hit, Ryan fell to the ground. I made a slight chuckle. I knew this would be easy. I ended up winning that match easily. I played a lot more matches after that, all of which I played as Eteled, and it wasn't until 9:30 that it was time for me to go to bed, since it was a Sunday and I had school the next day. So I turned off the Wii and went to bed. I'm not a fan of school, not because of homework or learning useless crap I'll probably never use in the real world. I don't like school because there's always people bullying me. Everyone in my class knows that I believe that AI have feelings, and they always harass me for it. There's this one group of bullies, with the leader being called William, but he goes by Will. Will is a grade A jerk. He doesn't just bully me, but he bullies all the kids who are either unpopular or different, like the kids who have learning disabilities. Anyway, he and his little group of goons like to refer to me as Sam the Psychopath, mainly due to my belief that AI have feelings.
Wait, hold on. Well, I saw something right there. What was that? So good. Saw something right there.
There's this one group of bullies, with the leader being called William, but he goes by Will. Will is a grade A jerk. He doesn't just bully me, but he bullies all the kids who are either unpopular or different, like the kids who have learning disabilities.
See.
Anyway, he and his little group of goons like to refer to me as Sam the Psychopath.
That's a dumb nickname. I can see that with the duck.
Mainly due to my belief that
Okay.
AI have feelings.
That's what that was.
When we got into our homeroom, we sat down and waited for our teacher to arrive. The teacher's name was Mr. Brenner. He is a very laid-back teacher, and every Monday, he asked us how our weekend was.
Alright, class, how was your weekend?
He was met with silence, just like every other day. While he waited for someone to share their experiences over the weekend, I slowly raised my hand.
Sam!
Mr. Brenner called. I just sat there for a second, as I was thinking how to explain my experiences with Edeled. I spoke to a me on my Nintendo Wii yesterday. I said, I don't know why I shared my experiences with Edeled, probably just to make Mr. Brenner feel good. After I shared, my class started laughing while I embarrassingly sat there. After the laughing stopped, we carried on with the morning. Next period, I was walking to my next class when Will and his friends, Cooper and Dan, stopped me. Hey Sam the Psychopath, Will yelled. Are you missing your little me friend? He continued as he pushed me. Shut up, Will, I quietly said as I tried to get past. What? He questioned. What did you say to me? He continued as he gripped my shoulder and spun me to face him. I dare you to repeat that, Will threatened quietly. He let go of my shoulder and I walked away. Yeah! Run! Run, you little me friend! He yelled as I continued to walk away. I got to my class and everything went by smoothly until about 10 minutes before lunch. We were in history and we were working on an assignment about World War I. And as I was working, I could hear talking.
There,
I looked up and saw another group of
do
bullies
the next
talking
part
about me.
tomorrow.
This group consisted of 3 girls, Ellie, Jane, and Faith. They usually sit next to each other in classes and would gossip and talk about other people instead of doing actual work. On this day, I sat right behind them, and I could overhear their conversation. You know Sam, right? Ellie asked Jane. Yeah, she's so weird, Jane replied. I tried to ignore them while I continued working. You know her stupid Wii she's been talking about? Well, maybe she has some mental condition and she's hallucinating, Faith said as she laughed. What are you guys talking about me for? I asked. Yo, were we talking about you? No, Ellie quietly hissed at me. They think that I'm some stupid idiot and some weird kid with a mental condition. And they think that I'm gullible enough to keep working, thinking that I was mistaken.
Yeah, but that's...
Ellie, I know what I hear and I know what I see. I quietly confronted Ellie as I leaned forward. Yo, shut up, Sam, Ellie stated, and I leaned in further. Stop talking about me, I quietly demanded. Okay, fine, just go back to working, Ellie said with a sassy tone. I overheard them a bit more and I was surprised to hear that they were now just talking about their pathetic TV shows, and then they started talking about shopping and going to the mall. I felt vomit rise in my throat. Get a life, I thought. The day went by normally after that. Other than some kids giving me some weird looks, it was fine. I always walk home from school, mainly because I live so close to my school and that my mom is always at work on the weekdays. She usually gets back from work usually around an hour after I get home. Anyway, today was no different, but Will does take the same route as me to get to his home, which is a bit further down. Sometimes I look back and see him walking a safe distance behind, I didn't really care though, because he doesn't do too much when his friends aren't with him. Eventually, I got home and I locked the door behind me. I went to my room and I decided to talk to Edeled. I turned on my TV and Wii, and I sat on my bed while I held the Wii remote in my hand. As the Wii menu glowed onto my face, I pointed the Wii remote to the Me channel, and I pressed the A button. I pressed start. When the Me channel opened, I saw Edeled. "Hi, Edeled," I said softly.
Sam, I need you to turn off the Wii.
Edeled spoke in a rather scared tone. "Why?" I asked.
Someone's coming. Turn off the Wii and hide it.
Edeled fearfully yelled. I didn't understand. Who was coming and why was Edeled so afraid? But before I could say anything else, I heard running. Running that seemed to get closer and closer.
Sam, turn off the Wii!
Edeled panicked as I ran to turn off the Wii. As my finger inched to the power button, I stopped. I heard my window open. I looked at my window and I saw Will. "Hey, psychopath! Having fun with your little me?" Will said sarcastically. What the hell was he doing here? Did he follow me home? Why was he here? I looked over at the TV screen, with the Wii still on.
Alright,
Edeled was shaking.
we're gonna stop here.
Will came in and grabbed the Wii remote out of my hand. "Let's see what the little guy's name is," Will said as he pointed the Wii remote to Edeled.
It's been 50 minutes. It's 1 hour. So, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna do part 2 tomorrow. So, bye-bye.